Hello, everybody. It's Larry Bagby, aka Ernie. I mean, how many times I gotta tell myself it ain't Ernie no more? It's Ice. And you're watching The Bryan Wilson Show. Enjoy and happy Halloween, tubular.
Welcome back to another episode of the Bryan Wilson Web Show. My name is Bryan Wilson, and today on the show we have three of the stars from Hocus Pocus. My first guest is the Little Bless You Angel from Hocus Pocus. Please welcome Jordan Redmond. Hello!
Hi.
Welcome to the show. My first question is, how did you get started in acting?
I actually was a child model for a long time, and it just kind of was a natural progression that my mom wanted me to do, even though I was no good at it. So I just started going on auditions.
What was your first audition?
Um, I can't remember. I can remember several other ones of like really big movies that came out that I auditioned for, but I was never quite right. I even auditioned for a different part in Hocus Pocus, and I
Really?
didn't get it.
What role?
Emily Binks.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but the director liked me enough, so he made a part for me, but I just wasn't right for her part.
Well, you had a great role. Let me just say that.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. So have you been back to Salem ever since filming the movie?
I didn't film in Salem. I've never been across the country. I'm from Southern California. So I would go to LA a lot, and my part was actually filmed in LA.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you run into a lot of people dressed as your character for Halloween?
No, but recently online, I've received pictures and videos of people dressed up and saying bless you and having witches scream.
So I hear the original line wasn't just supposed to be bless you. What was it supposed to
Yeah, it was
be?
God bless you. God bless you. And they changed it right on set. They're like, Jordan, just say bless you. I'm like, okay, whatever.
So you just went with the play, you're like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, I went with it.
How was the audition process for the movie?
It was like a normal audition where you go in. You usually do not go in with your parents, you're by yourself. However, what I noticed about the director, whose name is Kenny Ortega, he was on the phone the whole time, and I was talking with the casting director, and I don't remember like saying the lines out loud to her, but I remember just talking. I couldn't tell you what I talked about, but I could tell I was entertaining to her. And apparently, he was on the phone trying to figure out a part for me because he liked me.
How long did it take you to film your scene?
I want to say it was just one day. I
One
don't
day.
remember going 2 days, but it's a whole process. Like you go to a place that's near the location, and there's a lot of waiting around, and then you go to hair and makeup. I even had a little trailer, and
Really?
it said Little Angel. Yeah, I have a picture of me next to it, like in front, and it says Little Angel. And all I remember was I it had a tiny little TV about this big, and I turned it on, and it was I Love Lucy. Because I only remember like snippets.
So you're pretty young, huh?
Yes, I was young.
Yeah. Did you get to
So don't do the math now to figure out how old I am.
uh, that's awesome. Do you
Yeah.
remember a lot from the movie since you were so young?
I remember different things from on set. I remember not knowing who anyone was. I didn't know that these were like big. I don't even think I knew what a big star was. Um, I remember being in Kathy Najimy's trailer, who played Mary. And I remember I would play with her little dog. So I'd be on the ground playing with her dog and her saying, "Oh, Jordan's here." And I'd look over and she's sitting in the makeup chair getting her makeup done. I remember the van ride over to the set, which was in front of that house. I rode with all of them and they talked to me. And again, I didn't know who they were.
You're just like, oh, I'm talking with a person who's a big star, you know?
Yeah. Well, and it's just weird later on when they had such success and I'm watching TV, I'm like, we like rode together in a van and we're in a scene together, but it's kind of surreal. It wasn't something that was chosen for me. Like, it wasn't my choice basically to act. It was kind of like my mom was behind me, but overall, it's a really good experience and a good memory to have.
When fans are find out realize who you are, what is your reaction?
They're so excited. I'm just happy for them. Like, I'm a normal person. Hocus Pocus has only come really back into my life in the last few years because I met my husband in 2018 and he wanted to watch it every Halloween. I hadn't really watched it, or I didn't grow up talking about it. And with the social media presence and how popular it is now,
Mhm.
it's come back. And it's really nice. I would never have thought that this would be so popular now.
It's a big classic movie. It's literally one of my favorite Halloween movies.
Yeah. And so we watched it because so now we watch it every Halloween. My husband and I watch only horror movies the whole month of October, and then we'll go into our Halloween movies the last week of October. So we watched Hocus Pocus a few days ago, and then my friend owns a drive-in theater here where I live in Southern Oregon. So I actually went there last night and we watched it on the big screen, and I got to meet people.
That's all. Do you like sign autographs there or take
I
pictures?
did. Yeah. And they're like, you're local? I'm like, I am now because I live in Oregon now. But I'm originally Southern California.
I bet they get really excited. They're like, "Oh my gosh, she's from Hocus
Yeah,
Pocus."
it's fun. They get so excited, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I just hope no one here thinks that I think I'm somebody
Well, you are.
because I
You're one of
am
the.
very normal.
You're part of
I
the
live
most.
a normal life.
um, do you attend a lot of Hocus Pocus events?
That was my second one. My first one was in July of this year because it was at the same fairgrounds that I was just at last night. I went and had a booth and met people.
Whenever I see your scene, I just giggle because it's so fun to watch.
Yeah,
You're just like, "Bless you." I'm like, "That's awesome." Then you see Sarah do her little things.
yeah, her screaming, and I'm so surprised that it never scared me. Like I know we did a lot of takes, but I never got scared at how dramatic of a scream she did. I think I'm just desensitized to anything.
Where can people go if they want to get an autograph from you?
Well, I have my Etsy account. It's under Little Angel Pictures, but I'm actually closing that too.
Gotcha.
It closes on Halloween Monday. I may come out later on with like a flash sale because I do have pictures left. But that's another thing that's it's time to pack it in. Etsy charges so much. Even if you don't sell, they'll charge you per month. And I have carpal tunnel in my dominant hand and I'm left-handed. So
Gotcha.
when you're signing something with a Sharpie, like I'm all contorted trying to sign these pictures and not get
Hurt your
fingerprints
hand,
on
doesn't
them.
it?
Yeah, I'm like, so I can only do so many at a time before I have to like walk away. And yeah, so it's just I can't do it as much anymore.
If you wrote a book about your life, what would it be called?
I actually am writing a book,
That's awesome.
but it's probably going to be more on the dramatic side of my life. It'll be primarily about my mom,
Gotcha.
and it's going to be called Surviving Her.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I don't want to bring the tone down, because I'm fine now. But yeah, I've been slowly getting into that process.
Have you
Just
always
kind
want?
of a cautionary tale for kids and parents getting into the industry and keeping them in the industry and keeping them working. Because I did about 300 ads and I did over 10 commercials, 3 music videos. I was always working as a kid. I got bullied a lot in school for it. And my mom just kept putting me in it. It wasn't like, Jordan, do you want to do this?
Mhm.
It was like, Jordan, we're doing this. and I didn't get any money from it. She kept it all. But however, I get paid for Hocus Pocus still. I get
Really?
residual checks, yeah. And
That's
it's so
awesome.
funny. They are such a huge range. I can have a 30-cent one up to a $150 one. My recent one was like $13.30.
Very
It's so
cool.
random, but it's like pretty cool.
When you see like Hocus Pocus like souvenirs in the stores, do you get excited? Does it excite you?
I do. It's like a nice memory. And then I'm like, 3 decades later, it's still that popular. Like, never did I ever think growing up into my teens, into my early adulthood, like, okay, I'm old, all right. Did I ever think it would be that popular? There's dog chew toys because
Really?
I shop, yeah, I have a lot of pets. So I shop like chewy.com and it was like now featuring Hocus Pocus. I'm like, what? Like, when did this happen?
You know, there's Hocus Pocus cookbooks.
No, I didn't know that.
I was at Target and I'm like, oh, cool, this is cool.
That is funny.
Hmm.
I know they just came out with tarot cards and there is a little angel character.
That's all. Like pop
Yeah,
figures,
people
kind of.
said it's like the tarot cards
Oh,
and
okay.
I like so it's like one card and it's the little angel.
The
So I'll live on.
little angel.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next for you?
Just keep working and hopefully start having kids. I just got married.
Congratulations.
Uh, thank you. I got married 3 months ago. Never did I think I would. That was just not for me, but I met the greatest guy I could have met. And, just keep living life, doing career, doing family, and
What does your
enjoying it.
husband what does your husband think of this whole Hocus Pocus fandom with you?
He loves it.
He loves it.
But I was not the person that got to tell him. It was the guy that set us up that told him I was in Hocus Pocus. Because I
Oh.
actually never tell anyone. I don't talk about it. It always comes out. Someone will say it to someone else, and they'll always go, "Nuh-uh." I go, "I'm in the credits. Why would I lie about that?" And plus, I look the same. I'm not gonna lie, I look the same. But he loves it. I talked to some of the actors. Like I've spoken to Larry
Mhm.
Bagby, who played Ice. I've talked to Don Yesso before. Mortal Bus Boy, like all online. I've talked to Doug Jones, and these are all people I never met. But we all have that connection, so we'll chat quite frequently.
Don will be my next guest, just letting you know.
That's cool. Tell him I said hi because he sent me an autograph picture. Hey, I'm like, hey, want to trade autograph pictures? Because these were our own pictures that we took off set. And that's the only picture I have that my mom took. Like nothing, I'm like, why didn't you take more pictures? I think she was just too nervous. She had me go ask Bet to take that picture. She wouldn't do it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, and I just trotted over there because I didn't know who she was. I just knew she was important
What did she say to
because
you?
all the, she's like, absolutely. And in my autograph pictures, I don't have front teeth, but in the movie, I have front teeth because we had what's called flippers back in the day, where there are little fake teeth on like wires, and you'd flip them into your areas that didn't have
Mhm.
teeth, so you would still work. And I had taken mine out in between takes, and she's like, "Oh, you took out your teeth. I'm going to take out my teeth." So she took out her front teeth, and then we took the picture.
What was her teeth?
She had like some kind of prosthetic that she could take in and out that was like right in front to make them look real buck tooth.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Mine was just so I had teeth because my front teeth were gone. I'm like, oh, that was so sweet.
Hmm. Did you get to watch any other scenes get filmed?
No,
No.
that was it.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. It. I mean, it wasn't that far from my house, like because like I would say probably like hour and a half away was the house that we filmed at. And what's cool now is there's people that have gone there to do YouTube videos in front of the house. So I'll watch it what it looks like now. I'm like, whoa, it's like going back in time.
What is your favorite scene from Hocus Pocus?
I put a spell on you.
I put a spell on that one.
I I love it. I love when they perform.
The singing.
Yep,
I will be honest, that's one of my favorite parts.
yep. And it's funny because every time it gets closer, like the guy dressed up singing, I want to say his name's Joseph Malone. In the credits, his name is listed above me, and I actually had to fight with IMDb for a couple of years. This was probably almost 20 years ago. I did a lot of emailing back and forth because they had me listed as Joseph Redmond. It said Little Angel Joseph Redmond. And I want to say I was about 16, 17 at the time when I finally saw it online. And I actually had to fight with them for a while. Back and forth emails going, my name's Jordan. And I think that they just saw Joseph and wrote Joseph again. So I always thought about that when it came to that singer. And then that whole scene that plays out is just, I love it.
Did you get to take anything home with you from the set?
I don't believe so.
No.
If I did, my mom took it.
I do have one last question for you before I let you go. When did you realize how big Hocus Pocus was?
I think someone had tagged me in a group, and I want to say it was probably 2015. And then I commented something, and I think I commented my picture, and like it got over 1,000 likes, and it was like, oh wow, this thing's like really popular because growing up and even the last like 10 years, I don't think of that scene as like super memorable. So everybody's like, that's my favorite scene. It makes me laugh every time. I'm like, oh yeah, it is pretty funny. And sometimes I forget I did it. I was 6. 3 decades later, how old am I now? So I'm like, oh yeah. But I think that was when the first time I saw it, it was big. It was still really big.
That's awesome. You never know how big a movie will get, you know?
No, you don't, because it wasn't a commercial success when it first came out. Because it
Really?
like kind of came out and then you just like never saw it again and never talked about it again.
Did it come out on Halloween or?
No, it came out in the summer.
Seriously?
I'm pretty positive it came out July of '93.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And then just I would see I have my own tape that was sent to me by the studio, like a VHS copy. And it was funny because it would always have words going across it saying, do not sell. This is not to be duplicated.
Copyright, whatever.
Yeah, copyright. So I had it, but I didn't really watch it that much. I was like growing up on big time action movies. Like I watched what my dad watched.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
What is your favorite thing to do during Halloween?
We like to carve pumpkins.
Hey, that's fun.
And the first year we carved pumpkins together, we did it to where we're facing each other, but our pumpkins are facing us, and we turn them around, and my husband's looks all scary and mean, and mine literally looks so goofy. And it had one tooth because I tried to do one tooth here and one tooth here, but it got cut off. So it's like, and I'm gonna make this face, okay? That's what it looked like. So my husband starts laughing. He's like, oh my gosh, it didn't look scary at all. It just looked like it was like. So
that's awesome.
That's what we love to do. So we'll probably be doing that tomorrow.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being a guest on my show.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me, Brian. I really appreciate it.
And I hope you have a great Halloween.
Thank you. I hope you do too.
Uh-oh. I'm about to sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Jordan, for being a guest on my show. And now, please welcome another Hocus Pocus star. You know him as Mortal Busboy. Please welcome actor Don Yesso.
How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, and you? When fans come up to you, what do they how excited do they get?
Well, the thing is interesting. It's, as I walk around in just a normal everyday life, people don't, realize who I am, or it's hard for them to put in context. However, if someone happens to mention it or if someone says it is, they get all excited, and they start telling me how it was their favorite movie as a child and everything. So their whole demeanor completely changes. Even though I was the same person a minute before that, just because I'm mortal busboy, they get very excited. So that's fun and it's interesting and I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. Because it just makes me smile to realize through 30 years how many people have grown up on this movie, and it's a lot. That's a lot. When you look at it worldwide, that's a whole lot of people. So
Can you tell me about your audition process?
um, actually, you weren't born yet, but there was an actor who was really hot at the time named Andrew Dice Clay, who was originally supposed to play the role. He decided for some reason at the 11th hour, he didn't want to do it. So a friend of mine was the set director on the film, and he told the director, he said, "I know a guy that can do this part." So they were actually filming already, and so I actually went to the set, met the director in his trailer. I did an audition in the trailer. The next day I was in wardrobe, and the next day after that I was shooting the movie.
That's
So,
awesome.
so it was just because my friend happened to be a set decorator and heard that Andrew Dice Clay had passed on the role that I just even want. It was a total accident, just a very serendipitous thing that happened.
Where did you film your scene?
Oh, Los Angeles,
Los Angeles?
Burbank. Yeah,
Were you actually driving the bus?
yeah. Sarah was. I was working the pedals.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, they had to put a disclaimer while we were driving the bus that if anybody was afraid or if they wanted to get on me, because we had a whole crew. We had the wardrobe people making. We had like 60 people on the bus behind us, and so they had to put a disclaimer on it that Sarah was actually driving the bus through downtown Burbank. Um, and so if anybody was uncomfortable, to please get off the bus. And of course, nobody got off the bus, and it worked out fine.
So they knew that the police knew you were filming?
Yeah, I mean, we had roadblocks and stuff like that. There was no traffic. I mean, we did this in the middle of the night. This was like 3 o'clock in the morning,
Wow.
so there was no there's hardly any traffic, and they did lock up traffic when we were actually rolling and driving the bus. So, um, I mean, we did have to watch for parked cars, but we didn't have to worry about any oncoming traffic.
Did you get to take anything home from the set?
At the time, props weren't that big of a deal. Nobody cared about keeping mementos or anything. Now props are a big business. So ironically enough, the friend of mine who I tell you was a set decorator, he kept a whole box full of stuff. And he just sent it to me about 2 months ago. And we sent it off. I had it all appraised, and it's going to be auctioned off in London.
Wow.
Yeah, in an auction. I had the hook that held up the cauldron.
Mhm.
The plaque that Allison reads when she finds the book. It said the book is wrapped in human skin. That's not actually what the plaque said. They changed the words. It's actually wrapped in child's skin. And
Wow.
Disney thought that was too strong, so the plaque actually says one thing, but the actress says another. So I had the plaque. I'm trying to think of any of them. Just some small things. But actually, I still found. I was in the attic yesterday, and I found my original. If you hold on one second, nope. You know what? It's going to take me too far to get it. I found my original cast and crew jacket from Hocus Pocus.
Seriously?
Yeah, and I was like, "What the hell?" I didn't even know I still had it, and because I'm going to a convention next week in Houston, and I'm gonna bring it to the convention. Because before I sent the hook and the plaque off, I also had production photos of the whole set. I had blueprints for the set. It's all things that Chris had. If I'd have known it, I'd have, got my hat or something. But back then, you just finish. Nobody knew this movie was going to be still going 30 years later. Nobody. Um, and it didn't do well for years and years and years. And probably was about maybe 20, maybe 15 years ago. The girls who were like 5, 6 at the time became like, or maybe it was even 20 years, became mothers, and they started getting their kids to watch it. So it all of a sudden became like this family thing. And so I'd say probably around 20 years ago, it started to really catch this cult thing. And then it's just tsunamied into what it is now. And with the release of HP2, it's reinvigorated the first one. And now you've got the debate between the two films is like which one is better. Some
Yep.
people like the first better, some people like the second better. So as long as one is still holding its own, it looks like it's gonna be another 30 years, I guess. And I'm also hearing a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm also hearing a rumor that they're supposed to do Hocus Pocus 3.
That's what I'm hearing. Yep.
Yeah, and if they do, supposedly because the fans now, once again, it's just I don't believe anything I read on the internet. I'm just regurgitating what I read. I know nothing. Is that because of the fans were upset that the only three originals, I mean four originals, were the girls and Billy. That everybody wanted to see at least everybody in a cameo. What happened to them, or where are they? So from what I understand, supposedly Disney's going to address that, and in Hocus Pocus 3 combine 1 and 2 together.
Like a part two.
Yeah, like it would be smart on that behalf. Actually, Brian, one of the fans, it wasn't my idea. One of the fans came up with ideas that Disney could have made like this whole game of it and put every one of the cast members in cameo roles, and you got to find them in the scenes. You got to
That's
figure out
awesome.
and make like a game of it or something like that. I'm getting ready to do the largest Hocus Pocus reunion in Orlando in January. It's going to be 9 of us so far. She's trying to get Kathy, Najimy, and Thora Birch also. And she's also working on Sarah. But that's about all I know with that. You probably know as much as I do.
Yep. Where do you see your character if they do make a third one and you're in it?
Well, once again, I got to steal one of my fangirls' idea. And from what I understand, I haven't seen HP2, and I don't have any plans to. What I understand is they tried to modernize it, and they were doing like selfies and stuff like that. So one of the fangirls came up with an idea that I'm an Uber driver now, and they get in my Uber by accident. Somebody else calls for an Uber, but they I said, "Did you call for me?" It's like, oh, something like that. But anyway, once again, that's not my idea. That was one, but I thought it was very funny. And a lot of the people who've texted me said that there was a trolley scene in the HP2, and they thought for sure I was going to be driving the trolley. So I guess maybe that's a possibility, but you don't want to be redundant with a bus and a trolley. I think an Uber would be really funny. Because an older guy driving an Uber, retired, so it makes sense. Really makes a lot of sense, actually. So I'll steal that idea.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you still keep in touch with the cast?
No. This will be the first time I've seen any. Well, actually, I lied there for a second. Sarah and I did another film after that called Dudley Do Right, and we worked together for 3 months in Vancouver, and we just worked together on Hocus Pocus. We really didn't have any conversations. I mean, I had actually met her like 7, 8 years before that. She hosted a political event at a house when she was dating Robert Downey Jr. And they had Ted Kennedy there, and I got to meet Ted Kennedy.
That's awesome.
Nobody, it was just a hello, hello, hello. Nobody remembers that. But when we spent 3 months in Vancouver, we got to be very close. Every day on the set, every day driving back and forth to the set. We spent Thanksgiving dinner together. We'd go watch the Yankees play in the playoffs every night at the bars. Because she was a big Yankee fan. Her husband was at the Yankees games. So we got to be very close then. But other than that, I have not seen one person or spoke, a lot again. Kathy, Najimy, and I did a table reading. I don't know if you know what table reading is. It's a script where you get a whole cast around of a possibility of reading a script to see if it works with characters. Kathy and I did a table reading for a movie that never got made, and I was going to play her husband in the movie. But once again, it was just a work meeting. It was nothing social. It was just like, hey, how are you again? Yeah, good to see you. Let's do the reading afterwards. Oh, good seeing you. And that was it. So I guess that's why I didn't remember it. But this will be the first time I've seen any of the cast members since the day I worked on the movie. In Orlando. I want to go to Orlando, and I'm really interested. As a matter of fact, I'm even thinking about getting an iPhone 14 before I go, and I'm gonna try and make a documentary out of it. 30 years of Hocus Pocus.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, and do the convention interviews with everybody, and get which has been like for the past 30 years. What have you been up to for the last? Hey, what you been up to for the last 30 years, by the way? And maybe make a little, 75-minute documentary. I think people would be interested in that.
I would
So
watch it.
yeah, so I think I'm thinking about doing that. The problem is that I'll be working, so I don't know if I'll be able to do it. But that's what my thoughts are right now. So I'd like to memorialize it in some sort of way, because 30 years did pass, and I really didn't enjoy any of this until like 2 years ago, until I found out that my character was even well known. I found out by accident. I went on Facebook and I posted a picture of me and the three girls, and it had like 25,000 likes within 24 hours.
How excited do you get when you go to conventions and meet the fans?
That's fun. That is a lot of fun. I just started going to my first conventions this year, and meeting them and watching them to see how excited they get. I mean, they start shaking. I mean, when I take pictures with people, I can feel their heart just pounding in my chest. And I just it's like, how you can affect people like that? It's not me though, and I know that. It's the mortal busboy character. And it's just like, I just laugh to myself. I really do. I mean, I'm not even, it's not like an overused phrase. I just start laughing like that just because they're like, I can't believe these people. And they start shaking some people. I thought one girl was having a stroke one time. I said, "You okay, honey?" I mean, and they just get giddy. One woman wouldn't take a selfie with me. She made her husband wait there. She wouldn't let, to make sure I didn't leave. She went up to a room in the hotel, took a shower, put all the makeup on to come back to take a picture with me.
Oh,
Yeah, 34-year-old woman. Yes, yes. I mean, it's just, the story. I could just go on and on and on with the stories. I mean, I don't want to bore you with them, but it's just like it's
no,
hundreds,
it's incredible. I love hearing these stories.
Hundreds of those just like that. It's just, and like I said, it's just, and I compartmentalize it. I don't get my head gets all swollen or get all caught up in it, because I know it's not me. It's just some person that was in a movie that people really loved in their childhood.
Mhm.
And so, I'm able to disassociate it and enjoy it as Don, so it's a lot of fun.
Do you get like a lot of people mention Hocus Pocus when they see you at Comic Cons and stuff?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's, I mean, it's that, they want to talk about what was it like, I guess probably the leading, but by far the best, the most asked question I get is, how was it like, by men and women, how was it like with Sarah Jessica Parker sitting on your lap?
How was it?
I'll keep it clean for your show. It was nice. It was nice, but I mean, she was scantily dressed, it was very cold, and we were very tight in that steering wheel. So, and we didn't really know each other. So kudos to her for being so brave as an actress, to scooch up to a complete stranger, just basically, and be at my mercy. So and it was quite brave of her as an actress to do that, and my kudos to her. But one girl asked, "What did her hair smell like?" It smelled like Pantene. That's the best way I could describe it. I don't remember. I wasn't sniffing on them, but just get questions like that. It just, oh my God, it's really fun. It really is, and I get a kick out of it. So, how do y'all even come up with these questions? How do y'all think of this stuff?
Mhm.
So anyway.
Did you get to have one-on-one conversations with Bet or Kathy or Sarah off camera?
No, the night we were filming, no. It was pretty tense around there. Like I said, the movie was behind schedule. Sarah was a professional. Kathy was quiet. Bet he was a piece of work, man. I just stayed out of the way, and I just went and sat in my chair off in a corner in between sets, and I just learned my lines and just did my part, and that was it. When we finished, we took a picture, said goodbye. That was it.
That's
Nothing
awesome.
sentimental. Yeah, nothing sentimental. Like I said, Sarah and I became really good friends after that, but not that night. No.
How did you react when you realized how big the movie finally got?
Well, I told you how I found out. I posted a picture, which is the only picture that exists of me and the three girls, by the way. It's a Polaroid that I kept. Um, and when I saw the reaction to that, I was texting another friend of mine, and I said, "Are you watching this? Can you believe this?" And they went to my Facebook page and they saw it. And they said, "Oh my God, that's incredible!" And I was just like, "This." And when I started getting, I mean, I had like probably 100 requests for photos and autographs. I said, "Wait, I never had any photographs." I had to go Walgreens and make photographs and start mailing out pictures, and I had to set up Venmo accounts and PayPal. I didn't have any of that, you know. So within a week, I was in business. That was 2 years ago. And as soon as Halloween was over, boom, it was done. Put me back in the garage. I'm done, you know.
So
So
Halloween's your big season.
with that,
Halloween's your big
oh yeah, oh
season.
yeah, yeah. So,
Have you been to Salem?
oh yeah, I went last year to a convention, and the problem is it was freezing cold, and you live in Nebraska, so you don't know what a hurricane or a nor'easter is. We get hurricanes down here in the south, and up north they don't get hurricanes. It's a hurricane, but they call them nor'easters. Well, the day I landed in Salem, a nor'easter came in right behind me, and it just was freezing cold, 32 degrees, windy, rained 6 days straight in a row. So the convention was all muddy and it was outside. And I tried to do some of the tours, and I was just drenched. I just sucked it up, went and looked at all the witches' graves, and I was just soaking wet. I had no rain gear. I didn't want to go away to Salem and just waste my trip. So yeah, but I really enjoyed the people that I met up there. Um, and I did a hocus pocus trivia night up there, which was really fun. It was about 300 people, and I
Wow.
couldn't believe the um, the passion these people play trivia with. I mean, they were like yelling at each other and everything. I'm like, oh my God. And so finally, the girl who's running the trivia thing introduced me. Nobody knew I was in there, and she introduced me. When I got up, I got a standing ovation, and uh, it was very warm and very welcoming, and I felt very overwhelmed actually by that. I had no idea we'd get that sort of reception up there.
Can you describe the tour in Salem? Like what do you experience?
Actually, up there they believe in witchcraft and things like that, and it's big. Everybody thinks they're a witch up there. So, so, uh, so it was late at night. I was walking home from the trivia thing, and I got lost. My GPS wasn't working on my phone. I lost my car where I parked in the parking lot. So there's nobody on the streets. It was like 11:30 at night. I mean, because it's cold, it's 32
Mhm.
degrees and it's raining. It was Salem, just it's rolled up. It's not that big of a town to start off with. And so I started walking around all the grave sites and everything just by accident. And I started going down all these spooky alleys and everything. And I was like, okay, no witches here? Come on, show me something, do something. Boo, you scare me. I just walked around for about an hour doing it. I was laughing. I was filming it, like I was seeing if I could see anything on film. And nothing happened. So I was like, let me go back to the car. I'm freezing. So I didn't get the true spooky Salem experience. Maybe because somebody said I don't believe. I said, well, they should have showed themselves and made me believe that.
How excited are you to finally reunite with everybody at House of Mouse Expo?
Um, I'm excited. I hope they're excited. We'll see. I mean, I don't know anybody. You don't know how people are going to react. They seem to be really nice people from the interviews I've seen on them. And hopefully they're just like that when you meet them, not just on camera. And if they are, I think I'm gonna have a blast, whether
Yeah.
everybody's warm and fuzzy or not, because I'm gonna be with my fans.
Mhm.
Like I
That's all that
said,
matters.
yeah, right, exactly. And they expecting 50,000 people to be there. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's a 3-day event, and as a matter of fact, their panel that they had last year, the Hocus Pocus panel, they did it for an hour, and it was on their survey cards, it was the most popular thing at the convention. So now they're opening up for an hour and a half, and it's going to be VIP seats only, and they're going to shut it down. I mean, you're not going to be able to get in there. If they're going to be a line waiting 2 hours to get in there, and a lot of people are going to be upset that they didn't get in.
So before I let you go, if you wrote a book about your life, what would it be called?
I did it my way.
I did it my life.
I did it my way. Yep.
But is there a reason why you would call it that?
Because everything I've done, I haven't done the normal way. I did it my way. Like I got in show business by an accident. I met a guy on a plane. He borrowed a cigarette from me, and I wound up on the most popular TV series on network television the next year. What's the chances of that happening? I'd never acted before in my life. And now here we are 30 years later, I'm still acting. So I haven't had a conventional life. So I did it my way.
What are some upcoming projects you're working on?
I just did a movie with Pierce Brosnan, who is 007, and James Caan, who just recently died. He was in The Godfather and numerous other films. And it's called Fast Charlie. It'll be out in 2023. We just finished filming that a couple weeks. We're right before James died. And got a couple other things. I'm working on a horror film right now.
Oh, cool.
I'm meeting with the director in Houston next week. Hopefully, we're going to shoot it next August. We're going to hire a writer and get the script down, and I think it'll do well. It's based on conventions. I got the idea from being at the convention, and it'll be what happens. I don't want to reveal everything, but it's about conventions and a serial killer. We'll leave it at that.
I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. So hopefully I make it and you can watch it. But right now it's about it. And we'll see what happens. Tomorrow. You never know what happens in this business, in show business. Like I said, I was sitting on my sofa and I got the call for Hocus Pocus. So you just never know. You just never know in this business.
Can you do me one quick favor?
Except what?
Can you say your famous bus line?
Bubble, bubble, I'm in trouble.
Thank you so much for being on my show.
My pleasure. Good luck with your show, buddy.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Don. And now I want to thank all my guests, Jordan Redmond, Larry Bagby, and Don Yesso. Thank you all so much for being a guest on my show today, and I will see you all later, everybody. Bye-bye.